Okay. Well, first and foremost, thank you everyone for making time to join us for our second webinar, and in which we'll be talking about local Smartway verified technology. My name is Hung Yung. I'm a transportation air quality planner with the North Central Texas Council of Governments. And the North Central Texas Council of Governments, or NCTCOG is what I like to call it. We are the metropolitan planning organization for the North Central Texas area. Next slide, please. Today, I'm excited to be facilitating and moderating our second webinar for our SMART webinar series. And we will be having two presentations for today and a panel discussion at the end. So hopefully there'll be a good discussion. Our first presenter is Patrice Thornton. She is a communications and outreach manager for the Environmental Protection Agency, where she's developed and implements programs to help the public understand the impacts of mobile source emissions on the environment. Patrice has been an agency for over 20 years. She has lots of experience and has worked on the Smartway program since 2007.
Hung, did you want me to go ahead and get started? Okay. Thank you so much, North Central Texas Council of Governments, for inviting me to participate. The NCTCOG has been a Smartway affiliate since 2007. Their organization has been the recipient of several Smartway Affiliate Challenge Awards due to their innovative and consistent work in building awareness around sustainable freight transportation and the Smartway program. So we're just always delighted to work with this organization. Today, I'm going to talk about the Smartway program. The Smartway program has two primary areas of focus. We have the partnership program that engages fleets to evaluate their overall efficiency. And that's the side of the house that I work on and have the most experience in. The Smartway technology program evaluates and verifies the fuel savings performance of certain technologies for trucks. And this presentation will cover both areas. So let's go to the next slide. So when we're making presentations and conducting webinars, we always like to set the stage by putting freight into context with the nation's economy. And I'm sure most of you who are participating in this webinar are aware of some of these numbers. And we know that freight's a big deal. Goods movement, we can't live without it. It's important to the economy, important to industry. The value of cargo that's actually transported is almost $18 trillion. And in terms of economic activity, in the US, logistics and transportation pump about $1 to $1.5 trillion into our annual economy. Approximately 10 million people are employed in trucking-related jobs. And then globally, 44 million jobs depend upon freight transportation. So freight trends that are emerging now and over the next few decades will definitely have a major impact on our bottom line. We know that the impact on energy will continue to rise, and virtually everything we use or own has to be moved somewhere, whether it's a raw commodity or a finished good, or it's just moved at interim stages along the way. And this is why EPA, working with industry, as well as governmental associations and others, developed Smartway. And that was to help minimize the impact of freight movement that freight movement has on the environment. These trends that you're seeing here on the slide compel our partners to seek opportunities to assess and streamline their goods movement operations so that they can use less fuel and generate less pollution. So let's go to the next slide. This gives you just a very broad level overview of the Smartway program origins. We launched in 2004. It's a voluntary program, which means it's not, mandated by regulation. Everyone who participates is doing it because they feel that it's a good fit for their business and they feel that it's important for the environment. The program is market driven. Our partners want to stay competitive. We think it is a true partnership between EPA, between the carriers, between our logistics providers, shippers, and of course, our affiliate partners. A key aspect is that it's a turnkey program that helps all companies, whether they're big or small, with their supply chains. It's supported by major transportation industry associations, as well as the corporate community. All right, let's go to the next slide. And this slide just gives you the core elements of the Smartway program. As I mentioned, we have the Transport Partnership Program, and that's where our shippers and carriers and logistics companies and other stakeholders participate with Smartway. And then a key component is the Smartway brand. And through Smartway technology, verification, branding, EPA has accelerated availability, adoption, and market penetration of various fuel-saving technologies and operational practices, while at the same time helping companies save fuel and lower their costs and reduce adverse environmental impacts. And then we have global collaboration. We, of course, in North America, we have our sister program in Canada, but we're also working with Mexico. We're working in different parts of the world to help other organizations develop programs that are modeled after Smartway. Okay. One thing I wanted to say about the brand is that our program strives to protect the brand, but it's very important to understand that this is a voluntary program. And therefore, manufacturers may claim that their technology is Smartway or EPA verified. But we just want to always state to the consumer that you should review the verified technologies list, because if something is not on the EPA verified list, then it's not considered verified by EPA. So that's just a caution, something to make you aware of, since we will be talking about these technologies. All right, let's go to the next slide. Okay, so this shows you a picture of a spec'd out Smartway designated tractor and trailer. And you can see idle reduction technology for the tractor. You can see the aerodynamic devices that are on the trailer. You see the tires, low rolling resistance tires on the tractors and the trailer. The Smartway technology program or verification program has test protocols for certain fuel saving technologies, the ones that I just mentioned. And these test protocols are typically based on industry procedures with additional constraints to improve confidence and performance. We'll talk more about the testing protocols in the upcoming slides. I think it's just super important to understand that getting feedback from partners and from users is important, but the testing process is also important. And so when EPA Smartway says that a certain technology gets certain emission reductions or has certain fuel savings, you know that it's from extreme rigorous testing. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. So this slide is going to talk a little bit about aerodynamic devices on the trailer and how that can save fuel by minimizing aerodynamic drag and maintaining smoother airflow. Using a streamlined profile, a tractor with aerodynamic devices can improve fuel economy by over 3% and will reduce fuel costs by over $1,500. And then if you add an aerodynamic trailer, you can get up to an 11% increase in fuel economy, saving 16 metric tons of carbon dioxide. So many fleets have recognized that fuel savings and the return on investment from trailer fairings can be significant. And when fleet fuel prices are high, such as now, a fleet may see something like an 18-month or less return on investment that fits within their business model. So, you know, we think that it's a significant enough savings that it's aerodynamic technology is very important. Okay. By combining devices such as trailer skirts, aerodynamic splash guards, which commonly are called mud flaps, and a rear fairing, higher levels of fuel savings can be achieved. Some combinations of devices are verified together, but the Smartway program encourages fleets to use combinations of devices that work for their operations. And the slide itself is just giving you some information on, you know, the front fairing, where that goes. That's it's attached to the front of the trailer, and it's considered like a gap reducer between the tractor and the trailer. Then there's rear fairings, and then there's under fairings. All right. So let's go to the next slide. And this is really where I wanted to talk about the rigorous testing methods, these next couple of slides. Our emission and fuel savings estimates are not based solely on partner feedback, although, as I said, that's important. We do have testing protocols. And track testing was the original Smartway aerodynamic test method. Smartway protocols were based on procedures that were developed by the Society of Automotive Engineers and the American Trucking Association, as well as ATA's Technology and Maintenance Council, also called TMC. So in track testing, multiple tractor trailers are operated at a constant speed. A control truck remains unmodified, while one or more trucks is evaluated with and without the addition of aerodynamic features. Fuel consumption is evaluated by weighing fuel tanks, and multiple runs enable statistical quantification of fuel saved. The Smartway program originally used track testing because fleets like to know fuel savings were measured on trucks. And the Smartway program has done many track tests to demonstrate fuel savings performance. Smartway has also conducted on-road testing to confirm fuel savings performance. So let's go to the next slide. This is another type of testing that we utilize, the wind tunnel test. And that's often preferred by technology developers because test-to-test repeatability is improved from track testing, and it's less expensive to run multiple configurations quickly in the tunnel. EPA adopted this test method for verification in their 2014 protocol updates. The Smartway technology program has also confirmed aerodynamic performance in the wind tunnel with scale models of actual devices used in track testing. The verified list for aerodynamic devices includes which test method was used for verification. So we include that on our verifications page, which I think is sort of a neat, interesting. All right. So let's go to the next slide. Okay, and this slide talks about other test methods, coast down testing, computational fluid dynamics, and then the benefits of these multiple test methods. So in addition to the track and wind tunnel testing, the Smartway technology program permits coast down testing for aerodynamic device testing. Coast down testing is commonly used with both cars and trucks to evaluate aerodynamic performance. We acknowledge that fleets often say their trucks do not operate at highway speeds or that their average speed is lower than 60 miles per hour. So they don't expect to see fuel savings with aero devices. However, the Smartway technology program demonstrated fuel savings of aerodynamic devices at different speeds. So even if you travel at a lower speed, such as 40 miles per hour or 50 miles per hour, you will still get aerodynamic benefits and fuel savings. The Smartway technology program is currently conducting research related to CFD. And the verified aerodynamic device list indicates which test method was used in the Smartway verification. Okay. So let's go to the next slide. So we talked about aerodynamics. We talked about the rigorous testing that was used. Let's talk about the tires. Let's talk about low rolling resistant tires. You see the picture, the graphic on your slide here. What was the challenge? Well, we know that tire rolling resistance accounts for nearly 13% of combination truck energy use. Low rolling resistance and retreads are really not two different types of tires. New tires intended for tractors and trailers, and retread tires intended for tractor drive axle and trailer positions. Specifying single wide or low rolling resistant dual tires on a new combination truck could save about $1,455 in fuel costs and could cut more than 5 metric tons of greenhouse gas emissions per year. Fuel savings of 3% or higher begin immediately. And that's when used on all 3 axle positions. Verified tires can save 3% or more compared to common tires on the market. We have found that through our testing, the Smartway technology program conducted tractor trailer testing and demonstrated 7 to 10% fuel savings with low rolling resistant tires compared to high rolling resistant tires, such as your winter traction tires. This fuel savings was first demonstrated with new tires and then again with the low rolling resistant retreads on the drive and trailer axles. It's important to note that unlike aerodynamic technologies, which achieve greater fuel savings at increased speeds, low rolling resistant tires can save fuel at all different speeds. Okay, let's go to the next slide. And this is giving you information on retread tires. The Smartway technology program recently updated the retread verification protocols after demonstrating that retread products can be applied to modern new tire casings and achieve the same low rolling resistance performance tires, performance targets as new tires. So I think that's a point that we need to understand. Retread products can be applied to modern new tire casings and achieve the same low rolling resistance performance targets as new tires. This EPA testing is great news for fleets since it confirmed the low rolling resistance performance with retreads, and many fleets retread their tires multiple times. So by using verified treads, fleets can still achieve significant fuel savings. We recommend, and I'm sure people on this line, the webinar, know more about this than me, but fleets should confirm the tread is appropriate for the tire. For example, a trailer retread may be applied to a steer, drive, or trailer tire casing, but a trailer tire casing may not be appropriate for a drive axle application. So this is real technical. I'm reading my notes, but as I said, I'm sure the fleets on the phone webinar understand this. Okay. So with high torque tractor engines, 6x2 axles and other technology innovations, it is increasingly important for fleets to consult with their tire suppliers to make sure they have the most suitable tire for traction, long tread life, and fuel economy. All right, let's go to the next slide. Okay, hold on a second, I might have gone. All right, so this talks about your tire care. And proper tire care is critical to achieve both durability and the fuel savings performance. Many people see the treads on the side of the road and assume that those are examples of low quality retreads. However, Department of Transportation studied those damaged tires and determined they were from both new and retread tires that were not properly inflated. So underinflated tires not only hurts your fuel economy, but underinflation could cause tires to overheat, which may lead to tread separation. So keep in mind, Smartway verification and fuel savings estimates are based on conventional tractors with box trailers. Low rolling resistant tires can save fuel on all vehicle types. Additionally, the Smartway verified list includes some tire sizes that are used in applications like drop deck trailers and car carriers, buses, other heavy duty applications. There is updated information on the Smartway technology pages regarding tire sizes and how they are included on our list. Okay, let's go to the next slide. So let's talk about idle reduction. We're all familiar with this. What's the challenge? Many long-haul truck drivers idle their engines during test periods, during rest periods to provide heating or air conditioning for the sleeper compartment. They want to keep the engine warm during cold weather to avoid trouble with the cold starts. They want to generate electrical power for appliances. So there are reasons for this. Studies by EPA and others suggest that long-haul combination trucks often idle overnight between 5 and 8 hours per day, which adds up to over 200 days per year. Typical combination trucks consume about 0.8 gallons of diesel fuel during each hour of idling, using between 350 to 900 gallons of fuel each year per truck. So we encourage you to use different types of idle reduction technology, and there's also some actual behavioral strategies that we'll talk about on a couple of the next slides. But bottom line is it can decrease your fuel costs, decrease engine maintenance costs, decrease emissions that are harmful to the environment. You see some of the statistics on the right side of the slide. And then, as I said, we'll talk about behavioral strategies as well as idle reduction technologies on the next slides. So let's go on to the next slide. And this first gets at the behavioral strategies. So we can have both driver and financial incentives or sometimes effective strategies to reduce idling. Of course, training. Educating drivers and operators about the impacts and adverse effects of long duration idling can help change behavior. And there's financial incentives. We know many Smartway partners offer financial incentives to drivers to reduce idling. Many large trucking companies already offer these incentives and have reported success in reducing idling times below national averages. And then we also have our shipper partners who have comfort stations, at the distribution center. And they also try to encourage the carriers to not idle. So they play a big part as well. Let's go to the next slide. This slide gets at the actual technologies. So there are idle reduction technology devices that allow operators to shut down the main propulsion engine. And these devices allow the operator to reduce long duration idling of the main propulsion engine by using an alternative technology. Some of these alternative technologies are installed right on the vehicle or at a location. They reduce unnecessary engine idling, and they provide services to the vehicle or equipment that would otherwise require the operation of the main drive engine while the vehicle or equipment is temporarily parked or remains stationary. So you can use this technology, of course, to heat or cool your cab, or to provide electricity to these small appliances that you might have in your cab. All right, let's go to the next slide. Some examples of idle reduction technologies include the APU, auxiliary power unit, and generator sets, fuel operated heaters, also sometimes referred to as direct fired heaters, as well as battery air conditioning systems. Okay. And I'm sure most of you are aware of one or more of these different technologies. So let's go to the next slide. We've talked about the technology. Now I wanted to just spend a couple minutes on the Smartway designated trailer as well as tractor. An elite designation trailer may be equipped with an aerodynamic package verified at 9%, or the fleet can install a combination of verified aerodynamic devices that total 9% fuel savings. 10% fuel savings is based on the aero plus low rolling resistant tires on the trailer. Both reefer and dry box trailers may qualify for designation. Okay. Now let's go to the next slide, where we look at the designated tractor. Both sleeper equipped and day cab tractors can qualify for Smartway designation. Designated tractors have aerodynamic integrated high roof fairings, tank fairings, aerodynamic mirrors, and side extenders. And I think this diagram is very helpful. This is something new. Fully electric and fuel cell electric tractors can also qualify as Smartway designated tractors when equipped with these features. And companies that purchase or lease tractors and or trailers that meet Smartway specifications are eligible to place a Smartway logo on the exterior of their equipment. And that allows you to be recognized as an environmental leader. And then it's visibility. You're demonstrating to your customers and clients that you're taking responsibility for the emissions that are associated with goods movement. All right, let's go to the next slide. So this slide just talks about very quickly the partnership program piece. Remember I mentioned the different components? The technology piece and the partnership piece. Benefits of being a Smartway partner, you have the accessibility to credible efficiency tracking and sustainability accounting. You work with a partner account manager who can, that along with the data that comes from your tool, can help you identify operational efficiencies so that you are able to make improvements year after year. And then you're demonstrating that commitment to your shipper partners, that the environment matters to you, that you want to be a cleaner truck. Your participation in Smartway shows that you prioritize sustainability and efficiency. And then you have actual performance data, so you're able to see what you've accomplished. All right. And I can put links in the chat to the website or to the Smartway Partnership Program at the end if people are interested. Let's go to the next slide. As we're wrapping up, The partnership, as I had mentioned earlier, is open to organizations that ship, carry, or manage freight, and even organizations or companies that do not control freight still participate as an affiliate, such as North Central Texas Council of Government. And these affiliate organizations agree to educate and support their members' efforts to improve freight sustainability. And as I had mentioned, NCTCOG has done a great job doing this. Okay, and let's go. I believe that's the last slide. So we've got a couple of links here. Here's a link to the Smartway page. Here's a link to the Verified Technologies page. I talked about those different technologies. We actually have strategy fact sheets. So if you go to the Smartway page, you'll find those detailed strategy fact sheets on each of those technologies that talk about the fuel savings and emission savings. All right, are there any questions that I can help to answer? If not, I will definitely make sure we get the answer to them.
Well, we don't see any questions in the chat, so I thank you so much, Patrice, for giving us that wonderful information. Our next presenter is our very own Jason Brown. He works with the North Central Texas Council of Governments Transportation Department's Air Quality Management Team. And he's a principal air quality planner. And he'll be sharing with us information about the Saving Money and Reducing Truck Emissions program that we locally manage, and we call it SMARTE. And he'll talk about the program, the SMARTE vendor directory, and its benefits to its vendors and its users. Welcome, Jason.
Yes, hi, thank you. Thank you, Hung and Patrice. Really appreciate you providing really comprehensive information there for the EPA Smartway program. As Hung said, I'm Jason Brown, and I've been with the Council of Governments for over 15 years in our air quality program area. And just before I get started, just to give you an idea of who we are, the North Central Texas Council of Governments, we're an association of local governments in the serves 16 county area in North Central Texas. The COG is responsible for regional planning and coordination. So this includes work to reduce ozone pollution and improve air quality. And so our efforts here, our agency strives to, again, improve our air quality, to seek to reduce emissions in a variety of ways. We have, from energy and fuel efficiency to advancing clean technologies and encouraging changes in daily behavior. And some of those things, directly what Patrice just went over. So some of these strategies, we're being implemented within our region so that we can, kind of be tied in closer, we're kind of tied in closer to the community and what's going on and other stakeholders and community partners. So it gives us a way to tap into those resources. And so most of our programs target mobile source emissions due to the fact that transportation related activities account for over half of all the ozone causing pollution in our region. And so I'm glad to be able to talk to you all about the Saving Money and Reducing Truck Emissions program, or what we shorten to call it SMARTE. And this is an initiative really to connect with the trucking industry and really trying to align what we see as important goals for the region and help to hopefully connect and align with the trucking industry companies in our region so that they're aware of emission reducing and fuel cost saving technology and strategies that can directly help the driver, the owner operator, the fleet manager of the trucking companies in our region. And so we hope that these can help them to reach their sustainability goals in a cost-effective manner. And so we work to build relationships and share information. And so our agency, we do lots of outreach opportunities, a variety of ways to get information into our region and provide relevant information so that it can be helpful and really hone in on, okay, these are strategies that can help your bottom line, which can reduce fuel costs. And some of those examples of the programs, we kind of help to promote, as you're aware, we're heavily emphasize promoting the EPA's Smartway verified technologies, but we also have some local regions programs, the Dallas-Fort Worth Clean Cities program, the Clean Fleet Policy. These are just some examples of what we have to focus in our region. Now, why are we focused again on the freight and trucking industry and sharing these strategies? Well, just a quick background so that you're more familiar with it. Now we're within our North Central Texas region. When we look at the air quality standards, the federal government through the EPA, they have designated standards for a variety of pollutants. And these are designed to protect human environmental health. And so our region, we currently do not meet the standard for ground level ozone. So what does that mean? So that means we actually have 10 counties that are a non-attainment for our ground level ozone. And so ground level ozone is emitted, it's not emitted directly from the emission sources, but it is produced through a chemical reaction with other emissions. So by knowing this, our efforts to improve air quality and reduce the ozone, we get to focus on the sources of what we call ozone precursors. And that one is namely nitrogen oxides. So the slide here, you'll see here is basically showing you a representation of all those sources in our Dallas-Fort Worth area of the nitrogen oxides. And so it shows the sources, and the largest portion, a combined 67% of nitrogen oxides emissions are expected to come from our mobile transportation sources. So therefore, air quality initiatives in the region are focused on reducing pollution from this sector, especially from over-the-road heavy-duty trucks and light-duty cars and trucks. So that just gives you an idea of why we're motivated to focus on this sector. So the SMARTE program, it has developed a list of local vendors, and they have signed up to participate in the program. And this means that they support the program goals and they sell EPA Smartway verified technologies. And so what we're want to take an opportunity to do is let the industry know that if you sell EPA Smartway verified technologies and you're interested in joining the network, that it's free to join, it's free to use, and we are a great partner and can help you with this. So to highlight some of the benefits of joining, our agency attends multiple, dozens of community events. We host public meetings, a number of opportunities that allow us to have face-to-face interactions, engage with the public, and all walks of life, really. So it allows us to hand out materials like brochures and the SMARTE program vendor lists, and those can help to reach fleet managers or other owner operators in our region. The program can help with providing local exposure of your company or business as as something, a business that's aligned with air quality and sustainability goals. So if you feel like that's something attractive, then that's what this program can help with. When our agency promotes federal and state funding opportunities, some of those are available to provide for replacing older high-emitting vehicles with new vehicles, or installing idle reduction technology. So we are able to, being a part of our network, you're able to know about those opportunities when they come available. And then also looped in to the regional planning efforts. Again, we're coming at you. We work within our air quality program here at our Council of Governments, but we work with other program areas, the freight planning team, and they are in tune with what are actual planning efforts going on that impact freight movement in the region. And one of the things that they host is the Regional Freight Advisory Committee. And that gives you an opportunity as a local freight or trucking company to be a part of a group that's in the know of what's going on. So these are several benefits of joining the SMARTE vendor. So again, it's pretty straightforward. To become a vendor, you you're selling the Smartway verified technology. We have a pretty straightforward sign-up form. We'll go through in the panel discussion more detail, but you sign up through the form electronically, and then if you can provide a list of your Smartway verified technologies that you offer, then that's what we ask for. And also, just so you're aware, of course, there are just a few guidelines. One thing we ask is that, being a part of our program, the vendor agrees to allow information onto our promotional materials. That would include, your logo, your name, on our directory, on our website. But again, this kind of ties back to that, the, kind of local presence that our agency can help to promote. And also just we'll provide sales information that if a sale is connected to promotion of our program, that would be great to know. We know that it's kind of a performance measure. And then also just being able to make us aware that if there are any changes in your operations, you maybe have changed the kind of technology that you're selling, just make us aware of that. So that kind of sets up the guidelines for you. And this slide here, again, it ties in well with what Patrice had informed us earlier about what are those technologies. And there's a link here for you. So with that, I'm able to take any questions.
Thanks, Jason. So far, I don't see any questions in the chat. And I wanted to know, Jason, your volume was kind of cutting in and out a little bit.
Okay.
Or it was fading in and out a little bit. So I just want to make you aware of that. But okay, well, at this time, thank you so much, Jason, for providing that information. I think it's very important for us to show that we have a regional presence here, as well as like EPA's national presence to support Smartway verified technology. And so now we're entering the panel discussion portion of our webinar. And so if you guys have any questions, feel free to put in the chat, or you can raise your hand, you can ask it, or I can call on you and we could ask it for our presenters, Patrice and Jason. And to start us off, we did have a question for Patrice. What is the verification process to get your products Smartway verified?
Okay, well, that's a good question. We actually have, I'm going to go right to our website. So I'm telling everybody the right thing. It's fairly straightforward, but there are, some specific things that you have to do. So I mentioned, we showed the Smartway homepage, of course, and I think we showed the Smartway technology page, but it's, hold on one second. Technologies. Okay. It's a Smartway page, and then it's just learn about Smartway verified technologies. So the first thing that you have to do is, let's see. Hold on one second. I apologize.
No worries. I'll try to find the link as well and put it in the chat.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Because this page, I thought this was the page that actually talks about it. Talks about the technologies. It talks about the pages. Oh no, this is just the process. Okay. I should know this. All right, so it would depend on the type of technology. For example, let's just say it was the idling reduction technology, and you wanted to get it verified. We have a link that talks about the requirements review for verification, and then there's the actual application, and then you give information about the technology itself, and then we do the evaluation. We review the test data, and if satisfactory, we issue a verification letter and we put it on the verification list. So you would definitely have to start with the Smartway website, because the process is filling out the application, including information about the technology, and including what testing methods that technology went through that you took. And then we evaluate it. Okay, thank you. There you go.
And that one is just for aerodynamic
right.
technologies. But I think if you go to the verified list, I guess for rolling resistance tires, there's instructions for you to
for that. Exactly. For that. Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure how long the process takes. But if you follow those specific steps, procedures, it will get into the right hands, and then people do follow up with you. They have our Technology Assessment Center, TAC, has a contact person for aero, a contact person for tires, a contact person for idle reduction. So it's somebody who's, expert, subject matter expert in each of these technologies, who would be working directly with you.
Great, thank you. And then let's see if there's any other questions. We do have another one. Do you have to be a Smartway purchase Smartway verified technologies? And that can go to both of you guys.
Yeah, no, I think, but based on what Jason was saying, definitely not. And you do not have to be a partner to purchase the verified technologies and to have those verified technologies on your truck as part of your fleet. We, of course, encourage you to become a partner. We talked a little bit about the benefits to participation in some of the earlier slides, but if you're not ready, but you definitely are interested in purchasing verified technology, that's fine. You don't have to be a partner.
Great. And then let's see, this question, I think this is for Jason. So what information is collected when you're signing up to be a SMART vendor?
Okay, yes. Yeah, that's a great question, because as we showed in the presentation, we do have a link. It takes you to electronic form, but we can also pull up here just so you get an idea of the information that we'd be looking for to fill out. It's pretty straightforward. It's one page here. So, but just your contact information, where you are within our region, and who are some of the main contacts, name and phone number, email, and then also what are the verified technologies that your company is selling. And then again, the guidelines, which I touched upon earlier, are just reiterated here so that, again, you'll fill this out online. The format's a little bit different, but this is the information you'd fill in, and that would be submitted to us automatically. And then we just ask if you have like a list that, a sales list that shows the technologies, and you can email that to us at our email address.
Great, thank you so much, Jason.
I love that idea of the SMARTE program. I mean, that makes it so efficient for your fleets, the companies that are in the Dallas, in your area, Dallas-Fort Worth area, to
right.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a great resource. Exactly.
Yeah, and the reason why we did is because with the Smartway verified technologies list, so it's great that we have a list of knowing where it is, but regionally we wanted to be able to connect our drivers, the trucking industry regionally, to specific vendors that actually provide it.
Yes.
And know where they can get it and things like that.
Okay.
Let's see, and we've had the SMART program's been going on for quite a few years now, and so our vendors list, some vendors, they don't manufacture their Smartway verified technology anymore, them off, but whenever they do, we'll put them back on, things like that. But basically, it's a way for us to connect the trucking industry vendors, drivers with Smartway verified technology, and complete that circle in a sense. Let's see. I'm going to check to see if there's any questions, or if anyone wants to raise their hand and just ask a question, you're more than welcome to. And okay, so let's see, we've got one question here. What data do carriers need if they want to participate in the Smartway program?
Okay, so one of the things that we do ask for, the program is voluntary, as we said, but once you agree to participate, we ask that you complete a carbon tracking tool, and it's now online, so it's a lot more simpler than it used to be years ago. And we actually have a tool that's online for small trucking companies who have, like, I think it's 20 trucks or less. But basically, we ask you to give us information about the model year of your vehicles. And, ideally, this is information you already have on hand. So it's nothing new that we're asking for. So your model year, the fuel type, how much is used. We'll ask about your miles traveled, and we'll ask about the tons of cargo that is hauled, typically as average payload. So it's some very basic data for the carrier. And then you're able to get you're placed in, a category from very efficient to not so efficient. But your actual number is not shared publicly, but it's just what we call a BIN, B-I-N. So you're just kind of in this category, and then we tell you and give you suggestions like putting these technologies on your truck, or using kind of different kinds of operational strategies, ways that you can improve. And as I had mentioned earlier, you definitely have a partner account manager, someone who's with you through the process, the entire time that you're participating.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, having something like that to kind of help benchmark and help to to evaluate how efficient you are, and Smartway being that partner. And does it cost anything to be part of Smartway or anything like that?
No, there's no cost at all.
Okay.
That's a great question. Yeah, no cost at all. And again, all of the resources are, available at no cost.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like your own spec, kind of.
Right.
Let's see what, so this one's for you, Patrice. What are the steps to receive access to a Smartway tractor and or trailer designated logo?
Okay, so again, that's on our website. Joanne Jackson Stephens is our brand manager, and that we have another application that you fill out, and it basically talks about, it asks different questions. We want to make sure that your tractor and or trailer are meeting the specifications. And you saw a lot of the diagrams that we shared during the presentation. That's part of that application. So it's very simple for you to take a look at, and you basically fill that application out, and then Joanne reviews it. And it's I know for a fact, because I work directly with her, that it's a very streamlined process, and she gets back with you within a couple of days and can tell you, as long as you meet the specs, you have access to the logo.
Great.
Okay.
I know definitely whenever I see the logo, whenever I'm driving down the street and stuff like that, it does add like a level of like, oh wow, they really are trying to make an impact and things like that.
Exactly.
So I know we're at time, so I'll go ahead and we'll close up discussion for now. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to email us, and then I could forward it on to whoever can answer. Just so you guys know, regionally, locally in Dallas-Fort Worth area, we've got 2 funding opportunities open right now. They both close pretty soon, October 14th. And the first one is North Texas Freight Terminal Electrification, and that will fund the installation of electrified parking spaces, the adapters for a safe disconnection, and then also electric power monitoring. And then we have another funding opportunity. It's called the North Texas Clean Diesel Project, and that is to replace vehicles, engines, and TRU trailers. So that's really exciting. We still have about $86,000 available there, and the electrified parking space funding, we've got $860,000. Nope, is that right? That is right, $860,000 available. And so next slide. So my name is Hung Yung, and Jason Brown's my partner here with COG. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for our presenters for presenting, and for attendees for attending. And then, like I said at the beginning, this is our second of a series of webinars hosted by SMARTE, and we hope that you see us next time on November 10th, when we environmental justice and trucking webinar. And so we'll talk about environmental justice, how it relates to trucking, and hopefully offer you very good information. We'll be posting the recording of this webinar on YouTube, and then we'll also link it in our SMARTE webpage. And attendees, you'll receive the presentation slides and everything like that too. So it'll be linked in our webpage as well. So thank you, everybody, for joining us, and I hope you had a good time and you guys enjoy your lunch, or from wherever you are, hopefully it is lunchtime. And that's all I've got. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.